Okay, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're here for Oregairu Climax, episode 6. So I'm gonna get this out of the way now. I already recorded this video. Recorded the entire thing, entire episode. And I am gonna also preface that I checked my audio level several times throughout the recording. So I know that I had everything active and everything like that. But when I checked the recording, my mic audio is completely corrupted. My mic has no audio for the entire video. So it wasn't that long of a recording. So I'm not the happiest camper, just to be truthfully honest. But I'm not very upset either. The recording was only about 34-ish minutes of raw footage, which is not that much. This was not a super in-depth episode, so I'm not horribly upset. I'm annoyed. It is really annoying that happened. Alas, shit happens. It is what it is. So I'm gonna be going back to the episode again. Obviously, this is not gonna be a first-time reaction, which I apologize. That's probably gonna dissuade a lot of you from watching this video, and I do apologize for that, but there's literally nothing I can do. Like, I have tried to recover the audio and whatever it may be, but it's just not there. It is just not there whatsoever. There's nothing else for me to say. Last episode was a pretty good episode, very comedy-filled episode to say the least. Oh god, I can't even think of the recap now because my mind is just so all over the place. Hikigaya and Yukino essentially confess to each other in that they are going to challenge each other for the final battle, I guess you could call it, of all the way back in episode 1, where they challenged each other that the loser would have to do whatever the winner says, and we are finally getting that conclusion. So we're gonna see how that battle plays out as they both try and make the prom work in their own way. And yeah, so at this point, I already know what happens in this episode. Like I said, I already watched the entire episode. I watched the entire episode, recorded the entire thing, first time reaction, whatever it may be. We'll get right into this episode. I'm probably not gonna pause very much. Probably just gonna generally kind of speak about some things and add on some extra thoughts. But yeah, I hope you guys still enjoy this reaction, even if it's not a first time reaction, because I already recorded this episode. But yeah, I still want to get this recording out, so we're gonna go ahead and go through with it anyway. So yeah, pretty sure feel free to check out the Patreon and Discord. Links are in the description below. The Discord we talk about current anime, past anime, current manga, past manga, and have an overall great time in there, and have non-anime conversations as well. As far as the Patreon goes, you get uncuts and exclusives to all of my reactions, so feel free to check out either of those of your own will. But now, without further ado, let's go straight to Oregairu Climax, episode 6. Doesn't want to be close to him. She's not the happiest camper right now, much like me right now. Me and Iroha are one and the same here. Gotta buy her a drink. The Maxis coffee and the red bean soup soda, I guess. This is also, I will add this question in here again. I still don't understand if it's like red bean soup in a can, or if it's a red bean soup flavored drink, which sounds horrible. So I don't know. Feel free to tell me which it actually is there. I guess this could be good in its own way. I'm trying to like think on the positives here. This would give me a chance to talk about some more things that I maybe did not notice the first time around. Like Iroha saying here about how if I hadn't started this whole prom business, things would have gotten so complicated. I mean, Hikigaya does say here in a second that it's perfect timing because it allows him and Yukino to hash out their competition at the end of the day. But it's not her fault at all. She just wanted to, as she states here in a second, she just wanted to have a good prom and a good way to send off all the seniors and senpais that she's become such good friends with over her time in high school. So I don't think it's her fault. I mean, it's her fault, but it's not her fault, because you get what I mean. Yep. This finish line is perfect for your little competition you started at the beginning of the series.
なあ、本当のとこ、なんでプロムにそこまでこだわるんだ？
何ですか急に。
Just joining Iroha.
やっぱりあれですかね。
I love how that's just not the reason at all. Yeah, I had a whole like question thing going about like because I didn't know that Iroha and Hiratsuka were close, but it makes sense. She's part of the student council. She's gonna be a little bit more involved with Hiratsuka since she gained that role. But then it turns out that's clearly not the main reason she wanted to do a prom.
それで思ったんですよね。ちゃんとお別れしないと後悔しちゃいそうだな。
そこまで平塚先生のことを麗しいしてよい。ほぼ毎日伸ばしのぎの草対応ばかりしていた意識が、あなたの愛はしっかりと生徒に届いてましたよ。
あ、でもなくはないんですけど。
Yep.
先輩はそういうタイプじゃないですか。こう言ってめっちゃ後悔しそう。
そうだな。
It is very much Hikigaya.
私こう見えて友達いないじゃないですか。
お前は自分がどう見えてるんだ？
先輩たちだけです。雪乃先輩もゆい先輩も葉山先輩も、ついでに戸部先輩とかのその
Give all the senpais a proper celebration send off.
さてはお前いいやつだな。
私が後悔しないためにですよ。私のためです。別に先輩のためじゃないです。
I'm sure it's all for her.
わざわざめんどくさいことや長い時間かけて嫌になって嫌いになって、それでようやく諦めがつくっていうか。
Finally be able to stop holding on to the senpai she loves so much and let them go and go on about their lives while she progresses in high school a year below them.
先生したってお別れしたいじゃないですか。
After all that pain and turmoil to get the prom set up, get a nice cathartic
だ
goodbye.
ったらもっとちゃんとしてください。
あいた。
I also commented on about how I love how much more expressive Hikigaya is. Makes it very fun. It makes it very fun with Hikigaya being like so much more expressive than he ever was in the past. Like, it's just one, it shows his growth, and two, it makes for some great comedy bits at the same time.
どっちにする？
どっちも変わらんだろう。選ばざるを得ない。なるほどな。
何が？
Yep.
いや、
Realizing the decision he made her make. Also, once again, the cute ass cat. Absolutely adorable.
お前もうすぐ卒業だな。何するもんだ？
何それ変な質問。小町卒業旅行行く。
え？
いやお兄ちゃんは行かないでしょ。家族じゃなくて友達と行く。
終わりで旅行とかダメだぞ。お兄ちゃんそんなの許しません。
And per usual, I fucking love their interactions so much. Really, one of the best parts of the show is their interactions with each other.
クラスのみんなって本当にみんななの？惚れない人っているよね。かっこ俺調べかっこ閉じ。
That's a great joke too. Parentheses, parentheses me, close parentheses. Or whatever he said. Yeah, parentheses, like me, close parentheses.
山荘会は結構イベントっぽいかな。知らんけど。
3年生を送る会か。なんかあった気がするな。1、2、僕たち
1、2、私たちは
卒業します。
卒業します。
みたいなやつな。
うん全然違う。それ小学校だし。
そうだっけ？
Hikigaya basically blocked out any memories of like middle school graduation and can only remember up to elementary school.
まあ卒業したことねえんだよ俺。
高校は山荘会みたいなのないの？
そういうのはなかった気がする。今年からプロムってのをやるぞ。
何これ？これやるの？
根拠があるわけではない。
Yeah, the claim that we're gonna do it is definitely a very shaky claim at best.
絶対に実現すること。
But I love his determination here. He is gonna make the prom happen one way or another.
おはよう。時間やばいね。ちょっとギリギリになっちゃったよ。
Thinking back to her crying.
昨日大丈夫だったか？
全然大丈夫。ごめんねなんかはず。っていうか言ったじゃん。別によくある。
Just talking on and on and on quickly to try to cover it up, the fact that she is not okay whatsoever.
まあいろいろあってな。プロムやってみることにしたわ。だから今日先帰っててくれ。
わかった。
今日だけに限らず。
I also love Yuki, Yui's backpack. I love how it's like these super long straps that just go down to, feels very impractical because it feels like every step you take you're gonna hit the backpack up, but either way, I like the backpack design.
手伝うどころか対立することになった。
お？はい？
いや、暴力とか無理無理。 だから対立することにした。
なんかヒッキーってたまにすごく頭悪い。
逆だ。たまにすげえ頭いいんだ。
ちゃんと話したの？
話して解決するか？
しないか。
Nope. There was no way of talking Yukino out of this. Not at all.
滝のことはそれから考える。
ねえヒッキー、それ私も手伝っちゃダメかな。
いろいろ考えたんだが、ただバイアスをかける必要がある。
バイアス？わあ、バイブス。
違う。
Just not even close. Just so far off.
偏ってることを言うかな、知らんけど。
He says could be wrong after giving the exact definition of what a bias is.
プロムの企画をもう一つ作る。
なんで？
今プロムの存在それ自体が悪。
That pause is so good for comedic timing.
って話になるだろう。
なるほど。
糖質は太る。質は食べない方がいいな。
Giving her a good solid comparison here.
うん、2個食べられる。
違うが、まあそういうことだ。
The comedy in this episode is so well done. All the jokes had me crying laughing on first watch. They were so good.
って話じゃん。どっちもダメって言われたら？
けどそれは多分大丈夫だ。もうやめさせたいわけじゃないんだ。
The school never once wanted them to cancel the prom. It's the other groups that very clearly want them to do so.
なるほど。
Yeah, making a prom that is both terrible but plausible at the same time, easier said than done.
には予算もない。
むしろ何がある？
そこでご紹介するのがこちら。も働いてくれる存在。うちの学校の生徒です。で使い放題。
ブラックすぎる。っていうかさ、
それなんだよな。話の通じそうな人間を呼んでみるか。トマト剥いてくれ。い
トマトも食べないよ。
や違う違う。トマト食べると上ってなっちゃうから。あれ本当に無理。
Gloopy is such an interesting choice word. Gave you a bunch of tomatoes. You gotta eat them. To be fair, I'd have the same reaction if it was corn. Corn has got to be the nastiest thing on planet Earth. It is legitimately got to be the nastiest thing on planet Earth. It is so bad. It makes me gag every time I eat it. I'm fine with tomatoes. Tomatoes don't really bother me. They're not the best thing ever, but they're not bad either. I'll eat tomatoes. Corn is so bad. I know it's going to be a very controversial take because a lot of people really like corn on the cob and stuff. I can't. I can't eat it. It's just so bad.
なんか子供みたい。
That face she's staring at you with.
トマトは大人でも嫌いな人は多いぞ。
She's admiring the guy she likes. Enter Zaimokuza, Totsuka, and Kawasaki.
感謝。
ほ
残念なお知らせがあります。プロムって知ってるか？
う、知らんな。なんだこの陽キャの承認欲求とこんなものを来賛するやつは大体大学に行った時。うちの高校プロムってのがあってさ。
I love he does a similar impression to what Hikigai was doing earlier.
俺たちはこのプロムと対立することにした。
アンチプロムだな。
それじゃダメじ
まあ当たらずとも遠からずだな。
そうか。
対立は対立ですが、プロムはやります。
はい。
Just a much worse prom.
ゃん。8万、ちゃんと聞いておくね。8万はどうしたいの？
Totally reasonable to ask. You're asking for my help, so I need to know why you're doing this. Makes total sense.
けど僕たちもちゃんと8万のこと理解したいから。ヒッキー。
Little support from Yui here.
プロム自体は割とどうでもいいってやろうとしてる。だから俺の協力は望んでない。俺はあっちのプロムを実現させてやりたい。
Still wants to make the prom happen at the end of the day. I love how even though he made it a competition with her, he essentially has no intention of winning the competition. He wants her to win the competition either way, because this is something she is desperately trying to do herself.
無駄になると分かった上で協力してくれ。
Even bowing down, requesting their help.
私雪の下の手伝いしてるから
だった。むしろ雪の下たちを手伝ってもらえると助かる。
別にあんたに言われなくても
Kawasaki being a big old tsundere here.
人手が必要になったら言って。
ありがとう。頼りにしてる。
And the one person left with absolutely jack shit to do who is gonna help us out.
材木座さん、もしもし。
やるしかあるまいよ。明日時間を空けておけ。連絡する。
悪い、助かる。
I also pointed this out in my initial recording. I love the Hikigaya just popping over the back of the booth over here.
店内でそれはちょっとやめてくれよ。
Even if Hikigaya thinks it's awesome, just doing that in front of everybody in a public restaurant is interesting. I'm still not quite sure what this is. If it's just like you can reserve rooms to like work, kind of like on a college campus where you can reserve like a room that you can go in with friends and like work on assignments or projects. This seems like something similar, I guess.
でも企画書書いたりいろいろ考えるならよくない？
けどパソコンに
入ってるお席もございますよ。そうなんですね。ありがとうございます。
Oh, looks like you're stuck with that room, Hikigaya. He's so nervous touching it just because the two computers are right next to each other.
一応ね、うちの学校こういう建物ないよね。
Gotta find a place to hold the prom.
ディズニーとか。
予算的な現実がない。
I love how they call Disneyland Destinyland.
確かに千葉っぽいは千葉っぽいな。
世の中的には東京っぽい気もするけど。
俺は千葉のものだ。
かたくな。じゃあホテル水無月竜宮城。
プロムっぽくはないな。
Yeah, I don't know about a hotel unless they have like an assembly room to do stuff in. Yeah, I also like that he called her Gaha Mama. That's so adorable. Getting all flustered and just hitting him with the blanket.
海どこの？
すぐそこの。
あれ東京湾だぞ。
いいよ。
My thing is like, are you gonna hold the prom at an outside beach? And also, they mention here in a second, so obviously we'll see when she mentions it then. But I did not know their school was next to a beach. I don't think they've ever once showed that in the entirety of the show. They always do like close-up shots of the school itself, but we've never seen that they are close to a beach, never once. I think the only time might have been like Hikigaya back in early season 1 mentioning like a ocean breeze or something like that, like really early season 1. But that's the only time I can like think of like a reference to a beach or something like that. I'm just very curious how you would have a prom on a public beach. This, I still don't know what the fuck she's talking about. What do you mean and how much fun I had that day? That is still a question I have as well. I have no idea what she's referencing there. Oh, time for Yui to fall asleep. I wish the day would go on forever. Yep, she doesn't want this moment with Hikigaya to end. She's passed out right now. But the movie's over. The ending is already set in stone. I love that so much. I wish this movie would never end. Like, you would think she's talking about the movie on the screen, but no, she's talking about the movie of all of their relationships, the movie of their high school, whatever it may be. As the movie comes to an end, when the conclusion is already set in stone. Ah, man. This, it's gonna suck having to rewatch this, because this part already sucked watching it the first time around. I felt so bad. Yep. Doing things like this changes nothing, because the ending's already set in stone. It's fucking sad. Just having time for the three of us, but that will not last forever. She knows clear cut that Hikigaya and Yukino are gonna become a thing. The way he covers her with a goddamn blanket and everything. This is just as painful as the first time. I feel so bad for her. I feel so unbelievably fucking bad for her. To bring this relationship to its proper end. The fiend playing at the same time. Such a fucking depressing episode. Just kidding. Most of the episode was actually pretty funny. There was a ton of comedy throughout this episode that was great. Now we shall get the preview. I actually didn't do this in my first recording. I totally forgot. I had a lot to talk about when this episode first ended, but I just feel so bad for Iroha and Yui. At first, I just felt really bad for Yui, but I'm feeling really bad for Iroha now too. Because I mean, it's like Yui said, the ending is set in stone. No matter what she does now is not going to change that ending. At the end of the day. Was warmer than expected. He was doing everything possible. I'm just not even gonna look at what's happening above. I just saw a bunch of hand motions, and I'll have to pretend to wake up. Then I'll tell yet another lie. Until the end, Yui Gahama Yui will keep watching over them. Oh, it hurts! Oh, it hurts. It's so painful. My heart. I feel so bad. I feel so bad for her. Good episode. Despite having to go through and rewatch it, it was still good. It was still a good watch. Still an overall very solid episode at the end of the day. I'm gonna keep this end of episode discussion short. I don't have too much to talk about. Once again, I genuinely apologize. I don't know what the happened. I don't know. I don't know what happened. It was showing the entire video that the audio settings and everything was good. All of a sudden, when I tried to open it up in my editing software after the audio's corrupted. There is absolutely nothing I can do about that. But I hope you guys still enjoyed. I hope that this was a second time reaction didn't deter too many of you. I had fun going through it again, so it's not the end of the world. But I think that is going to wrap it up for my reaction to Oregairu Climax, Episode 6. Hope you guys did enjoy, and I hope you all have a good day.